Are you kidding me? This might just be the biggest bombshell to ever shake up the world of mixed doubles tennis. That's the rallying cry echoing around every corner of the tennis community right now. And for good reason. The iconic US Open has decided to dramatically revamp its mixed doubles format. In a move that has turned heads and sparked passionate debates, the organizers are bringing in 8 top-ranked singles stars based on combined ranking, plus 8 wildcard entries, all of which promise to create a firestorm of spectacle on court. But is this bold experiment a stroke of genius designed to catapult doubles into mainstream glory? Or is it, like Andy Roddick has warned, snatching jobs from the very players who have dedicated their entire careers to the delicate arts of net volleying and cross-court chemistry? Today we're unraveling the full story behind this unprecedented shift. We'll explore how the clash of interests between doubles specialists and global tennis icons is rattling the time-honored traditions of the Grand Slam. We'll see what legends like Andy Roddick truly think of these new developments and why they argue it's both a 12 out of 10 in star-studded power and also a potential threat to those who have thrived on the doubles circuit. In this episode, we'll shine a spotlight on the brilliant cast of tennis superstars stepping onto the mixed doubles stage, discover why established doubles pros are furious behind the scenes, and question whether all this newfound hype might be an unstoppable wave that the tennis world never saw coming. Imagine it, the thunderous applause as reigning men's singles champion Carlos Alcaraz bursts onto court with none other than Emma Raducanu, one of the most talked-about female tennis prodigies of the decade. Or the roar of the crowd when Novak Djokovic pairs up with Olga Danilovic, forging a Serbian alliance that promises unstoppable baseline dominance and unstoppable net coverage. The moment those household names collide on the doubles court, it's guaranteed to attract not just the usual tennis faithful, but also a throng of curious new eyes. After all, have we ever seen such high-profile singles players combine forces in mixed doubles with quite so much fanfare? But let's rewind a bit. Mixed doubles has long been an entertaining spectacle, yet it's often overshadowed by the main singles events. Fans casually pay attention, maybe tune in for a special match here or there. Meanwhile, for those who make their living in doubles, the spotlight can feel more like a flicker than a floodlight. Now, however, the US Open's new plan might be a game changer. 8 teams composed strictly of top-ranked men's and women's singles players, plus 8 wildcard teams who are also sure to make waves. That's 16 duos in total, each capable of delivering heart-thumping showdowns. The reformatting is not without its critics. Enter Andy Roddick, the former world #1, US Open champion of 2003, and a man never shy to speak his mind. He calls the new list of participants a 12 out of 10, underscoring that it's bringing in massive star power. At the same time, he doesn't mince words about the reality of who stands to lose. Is this taking jobs away from doubles players? He answers emphatically, yes, it is. The question is, does that matter for the broader mission of growing the game? Roddick is hardly anti-doubles, but he's adamant that if people want to see doubles flourish, especially in a primetime television slot, then these big names are the best catalysts to make that happen. Let's break down how this new structure will work in 2025. Tradition used to position mixed doubles in the second week of the tournament, often meaning that some big-name players who ventured into singles might be too drained or preoccupied to sign up. But the reimagined schedule calls for a special treat. The entire mixed doubles event will unroll the week before the singles main draws. This means fans can soak in the advanced footwork, blistering returns, and daring net rushes of these tandem battles without simultaneously juggling singles showdowns. It's quite the strategic move to elevate the profile of mixed doubles, ensuring it gets a dedicated spotlight rather than being overshadowed. Still, one of the biggest controversies is how it might marginalize the doubles specialists who rely on these tournaments for ranking points, not to mention endorsements and career milestones. If you've honed your craft over countless hours to perfect the volley lob combination and specialized positioning that doubles demands, suddenly seeing the main brackets fill with marquee singles champions can feel like a personal slight. Critics argue that fans might get a short-term thrill, but it undercuts the consistent, dedicated doubles circuit that fosters rising stars and lesser-known players. Some wonder aloud, are we celebrating star power at the expense of the entire doubles community? It's a question that has no black and white answer. Now, let's introduce the potential blockbuster pairs. Emma Navarro and Jannik Sinner stand out. with each of them eager to prove that they're not just singles juggernauts, but also masters of the two-on-two format. The energetic Jung Chin-wen is linking up with Jack Draper, promising a kaleidoscope of furious rallies and hustle that could electrify the stadium. Then there's Jessica Pegula lining up alongside Tommy Paul, both Americans hungry for the added prestige of hoisting a Grand Slam trophy in front of their home crowd. Over in the realm of Italian synergy, Jasmine Paolini pairs with Lorenzo Musetti, forging a duo known for creative shot-making and baseline wizardry. Elena Rybakina unites with Taylor Fritz, combining her unstoppable serve with his bullet forehands to create a formidable threat, and that's just the beginning. Mira Andreeva and Daniil Medvedev are set to form a duo that has tongues wagging. Imagine the synergy of a teenage phenom, measuring every angle and spin under the guidance of Medvedev's strategic brilliance. Meanwhile, two well-known powerhouses from the United States, Madison Keys and Frances Tiafoe, have joined forces to become a high-octane tandem, aiming to bring trophies home to American soil. Equally captivating is Arina Sabalenka partnering with Grigor Dimitrov, both players known for their flamboyant shot-making and fearless aggression at the net. Or how about Iga Swiatek and Casper Ruud? Here's a union that combines her lethal baseline coverage with his clay court footwork, which could be a recipe for unstoppable synergy. Then you have Paula Badosa and Stefanos Tsitsipas, whose partnership has generated endless chatter among fans, some of whom wonder if personal chemistry might translate into on-court success. Meanwhile, Belinda Bencic and Alexander Zverev look poised to deploy a strategic approach, her nimble returns mixed with his towering serve. And, of course, the star-studded pairing that has everybody talking, Emma Raducanu and Carlos Alcaraz. Between her sizzling returns and his baseline wizardry, they could become the unstoppable phenoms of this brand-new format. Novak Djokovic teams up with Olga Danilovic in a mesmerizing combination of experience and youthful spark, while the dynamic duo of Taylor Townsend and Ben Shelton brings in an American flair that fans will relish. Rounding out the list, we have Sara Errani and Andrea Vavasori, plus the shocking reunion of Naomi Osaka and Nick Kyrgios, two players known for capturing hearts, headlines, and not a small dose of controversy wherever they go. If that star power alone doesn't make you do a double take, imagine the ripple effect it will cause for the entire tennis ecosystem. Television ratings are expected to surge during that crucial pre-main draw week. Endorsement deals for players could skyrocket. Even fans who tune in specifically to watch Emma Raducanu maneuver the net or Carlos Alcaraz unleash a wicked passing shot might inadvertently discover an appreciation for the geometry, reflexes, and pure adrenaline that doubles offers. So there's no doubt, from a promotional standpoint, this is a grand slam of an idea, or, as Roddick put it, a perfect 12 out of 10. But make no mistake, doubles specialists have spent years perfecting synchronized movement, designing cunning plays, and forging unstoppable net walls. They're raising a collective eyebrow over all the glitz, saying, "We've been keeping this ship afloat for ages. Now, the big names ride in, overshadow us entirely, and walk away with the prize money." For them, it's not just about job security. It feels like a referendum on whether their craft is valued. Encouraging legendary singles players to also sign up for doubles is one thing, but handing them the entire spotlight is another. Of course, the US Open leadership sees it differently. From their viewpoint, the event seems stale to a broader audience. Ratings for mixed doubles seldom come close to the gargantuan viewership that main singles draws attract. If bringing in superstars captures new fans, doubles specialists could benefit from increased monetary inflows and publicity in the long run, assuming viewers remain captivated enough to watch standard doubles in the future. That's a big assumption, but if it works, everyone could theoretically win. If you're enjoying this deep dive and think it's illuminating a side of tennis you rarely see, feel free to show your support by giving this story a like or a share. Your simple click can help bring conversations like this to an even wider audience. Now, let's get back to Roddick's take. He acknowledges that it's complicated. On his Served podcast, he elaborated that while it might deprive certain players of the chance to compete, at the same time it's a thrilling path to pull fans deeper into the doubles dimension. If you've ever watched a random doubles match that enthralled you more than a singles contest, you know doubles can be heart-stopping, but in mainstream coverage, it's often neglected. Roddick's argument is that if we anoint these high-profile pairings as the face of mixed doubles, fans might become more receptive to watching other doubles matches featuring experts they've never heard of. It's a gamble, but some say it's the shot in the arm the format desperately needs. Meanwhile, the press is having a field day, drawing parallels to other sports that underwent radical changes. Some journalists liken this to soccer tournaments that spontaneously introduced all-star squads, overshadowing smaller clubs. Others compare it to attempts in golf to pair amateurs with legends for a bigger show. The difference here is that we're talking about a real, official Grand Slam event, not a side exhibition, so the stakes are undeniably high. In a matter of days, entire tennis careers could be impacted, not just financially, but also in terms of prestige and momentum heading into singles draws. One can almost hear the tension in every practice session leading up to that first match. Tennis fans around the world have flooded social media with scorching takes. Some celebrate the chance to see Novak Djokovic attempt a rocket volley from the net, while simultaneously praising Olga Danilovic's consistency in baseline rallies. Others lament the overshadowing effect on hardcore doubles specialists who have sacrificed just as much, if not more, to refine their craft. "We love to watch the star power," one fan tweets, "but does everything in tennis always have to revolve around the biggest names? What about the rest of the pack?" The debates rage on, fueling the hype in a way that ironically might make this the most watched mixed doubles tournament ever. While the initial wave of excitement is swirling, let's talk about the draw that's set to happen the week before the singles event. Tournament organizers plan to broadcast the selection ceremony on primetime television, unveiling the brackets for these extraordinary teams. Spectators worldwide anticipate seeing who might clash early on. Will Iga Swiatek's partnership with Casper Ruud face an early confrontation with, say, Naomi Osaka and Nick Kyrgios, creating a must-watch showdown in the first round? The unpredictability alone is enough to catapult this bracket reveal into one of the highlights of the tennis calendar. Then there's the question of synergy. Could two superstar singles players fail to click once they share the same side of the net? Possibly. Even unbelievably skilled athletes might find that they clash in style or temperament, leading to an unceremonious early exit. That unpredictability is precisely the lure. We're tuning in not just to see brilliance, but also to learn whether these pairings can mesh at all. Some tennis insiders have speculated that the advantage might actually tip slightly in favor of the wildcard teams, if they happen to be more experienced doubles players. But the star-laden rosters are practicing in secret, honing their reflexes, and practicing complex signals to outmaneuver any pleasantly surprised underdogs. One gets the sense that the new format is also testing the adaptability of top players like Carlos Alcaraz. He's so fast and supremely confident in singles, but can he pivot that game plan into a cohesive tandem, especially with Emma Raducanu by his side? Raducanu's incredible shot placement might mesh perfectly with Alcaraz's cat-like reflexes. Alternatively, that combination might falter if they can't communicate effectively, especially in moments when each star instinctively tries to take control of the point. This is the kind of real-time drama that fans anticipate with gleeful curiosity. Consider the historical significance, too. Many major tournaments in the past have singled out star-driven exhibition doubles matches to draw new spectators. This time, it's an official bracket featuring the biggest names in tennis, and a handful of newly minted wildcards who hope to disrupt the order. We may witness the birth of a new era where tennis aficionados embrace doubles with renewed fervor, or we could see a short-lived hype wave that fades quickly if the single stars dominate with minimal effort. Either way, no matter who prevails, the narrative unfolding here is simply too big to ignore. Now, let's pivot briefly to the perspective of rosters or coaches. One potential downside is the physical toll. Playing multiple events in a Grand Slam is no easy feat, and some coaches might be reluctant to let their star pupils burn energy in doubles. Yet, with the schedule shifted a few days earlier, coaches may see it as a bonus. It could act as a tune-up without run-ins against top singles seeds, giving the players a mental and physical edge. There's a strategic upside, too. Fine-tuning your net game in this new format might sharpen your reflexes and mental toughness ahead of the singles main draw. We also can't ignore the commercial and cultural ripple effects. Sponsors love big names. They adore primetime coverage. If the new event can reliably capture a big audience, that translates into more sponsorship deals for certain players, more advertisement spots, and, theoretically, more prize money for the entire tennis ecosystem. But will this also funnel some of that wealth down to the doubles specialists who feel aggrieved? Only time will tell. We might see a scenario where the popularity of this new mixed doubles format leads to expanded coverage for the standard doubles tournaments. Or, in the worst case, it might continue overshadowing them, leaving them in the dust. For the moment, the big corporations that back tennis are simply following the biggest headlines. Incidentally, we can't neglect the jaw-dropping possibility of an absolute upset. Imagine if an unseeded wildcard duo that has quietly specialized in doubles for years topples a star-laden pair. The public outcry would be immediate. How did that happen? Aren't they unstoppable? But that's the raw excitement of sport, after all. On any given day, someone can find a winning formula. If you're as intrigued by that potential for a major upset, or you're enthralled by the star power this new approach brings, consider subscribing for more tennis deep dives. By keeping up with all the backstage drama, you'll never miss out on the next big story. Drama is the key word here. Andy Roddick has all but invited it by openly stating that, while fans clamor for bigger names, they can't in the same breath criticize the overshadowing of doubles or the idea of stealing jobs. If the main goal is to bring fresh eyes to the doubles court, Roddick insists we put our money where our mouth is, and that's precisely what this format does. Like him or not, his stance is inciting conversations in tennis clubs around the world. You can practically hear the speakers in those clubs debating, will fans actually grow to love doubles beyond the star cameo appearances? Or will the hype fade if, for instance, Alcaraz and Raducanu don't reach the final? In that sense, the upcoming 2025 US Open is shaping up to be more than just a tennis tournament. It might be a cultural flashpoint for the future direction of the sport. If it succeeds in bringing a wave of positivity, bigger broadcasts, and more robust sponsorship deals, it could lay down a blueprint for how mixed doubles is structured at other Grand Slams and major championships. If, however, it fizzles, it might be a cautionary tale about meddling with traditional formats too aggressively. Naturally, many are betting on success, given how many casual fans are suddenly paying attention to a discipline that typically only gets major attention during the latter stages of a slam. And if you like behind-the-scenes intrigue, rest assured that the conversations among players in locker rooms are every bit as fiery as what fans see on social media. The doubles experts are anxious, talking about forming alliances of their own to voice concerns to the tennis authorities in the future. The top seeds in singles are nonchalantly polishing their overhead smashes while pondering how an extra doubles event might affect their physical readiness. Meanwhile, young upstarts who never dreamed of playing doubles at such a high profile are practicing with a vengeance. The tension is real. The excitement is infectious. It's tennis on the brink of transformation. When all is said and done, the big question remains: how far is the tennis world willing to go in order to shake off the dust of its age-old traditions? Some see this move by the US Open as a modern, forward-thinking approach that breaks down barriers and catapults the entire sport into the limelight. Others argue it's simply an exercise in pandering to star power, risking the alienation of some of the sport's most talented but unsung heroes. Only one thing is sure: once those brand new mixed doubles duos step on court, and especially if they dazzle viewers with epic rallies and emotional synergy, there's no going back to the old days. A Pandora's box of new possibilities will have opened. The eyes of the world will be on the biggest tennis city in North America, waiting to see if this revolution lives up to the hype or succumbs to it. How will it all unfold? Will we see a future where star-studded mixed doubles is the highlight of the tennis season, drawing in the same magnitude of fans as men's and women's singles finals? Or will it remain an entertaining side dish, overshadowed once the main tournament draws begin? Whichever way it goes, the 2025 US Open is set to deliver a tennis extravaganza like no other. Grand Slams are about rewriting the records and surprising the world with stories nobody could have predicted. This time around, the biggest surprise might not come from a teenage qualifier toppling a legend in singles. It might come from the synergy or conflict of two unstoppable forces meeting at the net. And that, dear friend, epitomizes the magic of tennis. Stay tuned for an event that promises to reframe your entire perspective on mixed doubles. Will the power of star partnerships overshadow everything else? Or will this be a golden opportunity for lesser-known players to shine in the eyes of a captivated audience? One thing's certain: the tennis world is waiting with bated breath, And no matter what side of the doubles debate you land on, the excitement is undeniable. The stage is set, the lines are drawn, and soon those rackets will be swinging in an all-new race for mixed doubles supremacy. Brace yourself for the next chapter in tennis history because the revolution is here, and it shows no signs of slowing down.